welcome to our candidate forum for the City of Midlothian Place 1. I'm Laura Terhune. I'm the CEO of the Midlothian Chamber of Commerce. The candidate forums are brought to you by the Legislative Affairs Committee of the Chamber. And it is my pleasure to introduce to you tonight the chairman of the Legislative Affairs Committee, Ross Weaver. He's going to be our moderator tonight. And one of our candidates is not here tonight. Mr. Sibley is not feeling well. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and ask our candidate that is here his questions, and then we'll send the questions to Mr. Sibley and post those responses on our website. So be watching for that when they are ready. So without any further ado, Ross Weaver, I mentioned, is the chairman of our Legislative Affairs Committee, but his paying job is that he's the Executive Vice President of Town Square Title here in town. And we are pleased to have all of you join us tonight, and we hope that if you have questions that you'll post those in the comments so that we can pose those to Dustin as we go along. And to Mr. Sibley too, he'll get the same questions after the forum is over. Now don't forget, we've already had 3 forums now. Last Monday we had Midlothian ISD place 6 and place 7 forums, 2 separate forums, and then earlier tonight we had place 6 on the City Council. So all of those will be on the Chamber's website, so you can watch them at your leisure if you missed any of them. Okay, Ross, take it away.
Thank you, Laura. It's a pleasure to be here tonight. I have Dustin Slayton with me here, who's running for Midlothian City Council Place 1. His opponent and the incumbent City Councilman, Mr. Sibley, Mr. Wayne Sibley, is not able to join us tonight, as Laura said. However, we will pose these same questions to him and get them to you just as soon as reasonably possible to do so. Even though we only have one person here tonight, we do want to still adhere to what our rules and our guidelines are, which is we're going to focus on talking about ourselves and what makes us a great person to be the City Council person for Midlothian City Council. We don't want to focus on anyone else other than who we are. We will limit each response to each question to about 90 seconds to make it fair all around, and we will have a 2-minute time for opening remarks. So, with that being said, we're going to go straight into it. I'm going to let Dustin introduce himself. 2 minutes, sir. The floor is open and yours.
Awesome. Thank you, Ross. My name is Dustin Slayton. I'm running for place 1 on the City Council. I am a lifer. This November I will be 42, and I've lived in this town all of my life. My parents moved here in '74. I worked at pretty much all the cement plants here in town. I was a mechanic for 25 years. I spent 10 of that at TXI before moving to a supervisor of a heavy equipment company up in Dallas. And then from there, I branched out and went to barber school. I own my own barber shop here in town. It's called Lucky's Barbershop. Want to come get your haircut? I married my wife. We both have 3 kids. She has 3 of her own. I have 3 of my own. And yeah, man, it's a wild time with our family. We participate in sports, soccer mainly. I guess that's about it about me. I work.
Thank you, sir. We're going to roll straight into our advanced questions. These are questions that our Legislative Affairs Committee put together and we emailed out to the candidates before tonight's event so that they would have a little bit of foreknowledge of what we're going to ask. We do have 4 extemporaneous questions that were prepared by the Legislative Committee that have not been presented to the candidates yet, and they will come at you live tonight so you can see their ability to answer some of these tough questions about our community while thinking on their feet. So our first prepared question to you, Dustin, with 90 seconds to answer is, in your opinion, what are the top 3 challenges facing our city, and what ideas do you have to address those?
I think affordable housing is probably one of the ones that is a challenge for our city. We lack affordable housing right now. I think the average home is what, $380,000 in our town. So I think we need to address that. And how would we address that? I think it would be by zoning and maybe working with a home builder to see if they could help us get the prices of those houses down.
Thanks, sir. The next question we have tonight for you is, what is your vision to ensure the continued economic vitality of the downtown business district, including the repurposing of the former fire station number 1 and your vision for the newly contracted for Lawson buildings in the city?
Exciting. I actually met with the mayor a couple weeks ago, and we actually had this discussion. I am concerned about our downtown businesses because we have a lack of foot traffic that provides that life, that vitality for the businesses down there. And I think if we had something to kind of kindle that fire down there, whether it was a brewery or something going into that firehouse that would kind of kindle that fire and ignite that flame in downtown to bring people there to spend their money and buy our goods and support our local businesses, I think that would be a great thing. I am excited about the loss of buildings. Something that me and Richard talked about was that either incentivizing Boston into making repairs on those buildings and start renting them themselves, or move to try to buy them out of them. And I think that was a great move by the city.
Thank you, sir. So identify one leader or mentor that you respect, and then describe how that person's qualities or characteristics would benefit a member of the Midlothian City Council.
So that was a hard question because I have more than one person, mentor or leader, that have been in my life, that have influenced me. So I would have to say my dad, for giving me the ability to envision something before it's even there. Just being able to look at something and say, that could be this, and make that happen. I feel like that vision came true in my barbershop, just seeing an empty canvas and make it into something incredible. My mom for her work ethic. She owns a flower shop here in town, and my mom works day in and day out. You couldn't ask for somebody to work harder than her. My wife, her strength and determination. She's gone down some tough roads, but she's been strong and steadfast and trying to complete her master's degree in nursing. My first mechanic boss, Dennis, for giving me patience. And being a young mechanic, you gotta learn to stay cool. One of my great friends, Chris Douglas, Officer Douglas here in town, someone that just gives service above self. The guy is an amazing person and a great leader in our community. And then last but not least, my first boss out here at TXI, John Dodd. He has passed on. That man really showed me about compassion and understanding. He battled cancer for 13 years and always had a smile on his face and was always a great leader.
Thanks, sir. So now we're going to move into some extemporaneous questions. These are questions that we prepared ahead of time, but the candidates have not had the opportunity to hear or think about these questions prior to this moment. Normally, when we have more than one candidate, they each would take turns answering these questions first, so they both had the opportunity to hear what somebody else said every other time. But Dustin's here tonight, going solo y mano with me, so we're going to fire at him quick and hard and see what he can come up with. So our first extemporaneous question is, give an example of a time when you took on a position that you felt was right, even though it might have been unpopular.
I mean, obviously being a supervisor of a heavy equipment shop, I mean, when you're a boss over people, you're not always that popular, but I thought it was a good opportunity for me to show my leadership and show the skills that I had learned and gathered throughout my mechanic career, to see if I was able to stay in that position and lead people that way.
Thanks, sir. So in preparation for this role, how many city council meetings have you physically attended since they resumed in-person meetings? And what changes or sacrifices in your personal life do you anticipate making to ensure that you are able to attend official meetings and other events required of a city council person?
I haven't made it to a lot of the meetings. I have watched a lot of them online. I did make it to all three of the budget meetings, which I thought were quite empowering and very full of knowledge. I would definitely make an adjustment to being a barber. I can make an adjustment to my schedule to be off and be available when needed for council things.
Thanks, sir. If elected, how will you connect with the entire community of Midlothian in all of its facets on multiple levels to ensure that all viewpoints are heard and at least reasonably considered?
I think being a barber, I definitely have maybe a little bit different edge than other people. I kind of have the gift of gab, so I'm really good at listening, and I'm also really good at maybe coming up with some ideas to approach different things. I get to interact with people all day, every day, and it's great. I think it's really given me some tools to approach those situations. Are they going to be easy? No, they're not. I mean, when you're in leadership roles, nothing's easy. But I am open-minded, and I think that I am a fairly deep thinker. I try to really analyze what somebody's going through, or maybe taking their their line of sight, what they're seeing, and try to better understand where they're coming from and how to address it better.
Thank you, sir. So what are your views on lot sizes, house sizes, and the overall population density for the city of Midlothian as it grows?
Like I said earlier about the affordable housing, I mean, if you do affordable housing, there would probably have to be a lot smaller lots to get more into a smaller area. And that's such a tricky one. You want green areas, you want areas that are open. You also don't want people just stacked on top of each other either. I've worked in areas, let's just say South Fort Worth, that it's like that. It's just wall to wall, you can barely walk in between the houses, and I just don't think that's really appealing to our city. And I mean, who would want to live like that, like right next to each other? That's just apartments but houses.
Thanks, sir. Have we had any questions that have come in? No. There being, I know, no additional questions. That was everything that we had prepared. I will add one of my own to this, and that's the kind of the classic question. If you had the absolute power to make one change the moment that you were elected in the city of Midlothian, what would that one thing be?
That's a hard one.
Mm-hmm.
I think to try to help bring maybe more smaller businesses to our town, to help support the small businesses that are already here. Me being a small business myself, I can totally understand that and relate to that. I need my community. I need everyone out there to support me. And I'm not the only small business in this town that needs your support. And as we grow as a town, let's grow together. Let's make a unique town together.
Thanks, sir. We let all of our candidates close with 1 minute of closing statements, kind of your sales pitch on why the listeners and the chamber members that are here with us tonight virtually should vote for you in the upcoming election. So 1 minute, the floor is yours. Best sales pitch.
Best sales pitch. Again, I'm Dustin Slayton, running for place 1. My slogan for this campaign is support local, stay local. I'm wanting to keep our local money in our town. Not support Waxahachie, not support Red Oak, not support Mansfield. They have great things, they do. But I want great things here in Midlothian. I want us to all come together and support any businesses that are here, big or small. And let's just make our town something that people want to leave Waxahachie and come to Midlothian, and leave Mansfield and come to Midlothian. Like, let's make this place amazing. And I think buying the Lawson buildings was the first step in making our town that much greater. Thank y'all for giving me the time to do this.
Thank you, Dustin. We do appreciate your time as well. We appreciate your willingness to step into the line of fire and help lead our community. It is can be often thankless position. It can be a very rewarding position. It's definitely not a highly paid position. And so we truly appreciate all of our candidates who are throwing their names in the ring to be servant leaders for our community. We will make a public service reminder that early voting starts next week from October 13th through October 30th at the Midlothian Conference Center. And election date is November 3rd. You can check out the Ellis County Elections website for your specific polling location. And I would invite you to watch, as Laura said earlier, our other candidate forums. We have held two for the Midlothian Independent School District School Board Trustee races that are contested, and now we've done 2 for the contested City Council races. So please check out those on the Chamber website. We will send all of these questions to Mr. Sibley, the other candidate for this place, and ensure that his answers are posted on the Chamber's website just as soon as we get those responses back. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. Have a good evening.